Hello, little ghoulies, and welcome to another episode of Housewives of Horror. So today I'm very excited because we have Miss Meg herself, the
Hey.
wonderful. And I'll say yes, yes. Introduce yourself. What we like to do for the start of these episodes, or talk your shit. Who are you, girl?
Thank you. Well, my name's Meg. I am a freelance book editor specializing in horror. So horror is kind of my bread and butter all day, every day.
Yes.
I'm also just a huge horror fan, and I love
Mhm.
talking about movies, love talking about books, and especially love women in horror. I think women run the genre. So really excited to be here.
Man, I'm so excited as well. The first TikTok that I found of you is literally me when you were like my cat while I'm watching a horror movie. I'm like, correct, because my cat has probably heard and saw some choice things.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
definitely have. And two, I wanted to definitely have you on here because I know that I need to read more books
Hmm.
as a person, especially, but you know, I need to find books that I enjoy, which are
Yes.
probably horror books. So
Yeah.
what got you into that?
So I've always been like a big reader, a big writer. I used to be a journalist before I like transitioned into freelance book editing. And I've always loved like creepy, spooky things. And
Mhm.
I didn't really read a lot of horror until probably like 5 or 6 years ago, like during the
Wow.
pandemic.
Mhm.
I really got back into reading again, and I
Mhm.
discovered what people call like weird girl books.
Yeah.
Um, yes,
Love that.
exactly. And I was like, wait, this is me. Like, I am the
Mhm.
weird girl.
I am her. This is
I'm
me.
her, she is me. And so it just really like sucked me back into
Mhm.
reading. And I studied like creative writing in college, so I've always like
Nice.
really appreciated just like the
Mhm.
industry. Um, and then when I was a journalist, I was freelance for a while, and I sort of like fell into my first book project, and realized how much I loved it. And
Mhm.
then like was like, well, I could combine these things that I love. Like I
Yeah.
could specialize in the
Mhm.
dark stuff. And I've been doing that for about 5 years now. So I love it. And there is so much to explore with like horror books in general. Like
Mhm.
it's really having horror is having a moment like in
Mhm.
general right now, but I think
Correct.
there's
Yes.
so much cool stuff happening with like horror writing and
Mhm.
horror literature, that I want people to get into. So
Exactly. And that's what we about to dive into because just like you said, I do. Horror is definitely, finger snap, yes, ma'am, we're having our moment. But I think the movies are definitely, can be outshining some literature that we might not know. And I also
yeah,
want to point out your candles, I want to steal all of them. But I just, that
thank
is so
you.
cute.
I DIY'd that actually. It's like a bunch of poster board and
Mhm.
some cotton fluff. And it really
That's
like
amazing.
it's my favorite thing about my room. Like it makes me want to
Yeah.
be in here.
It does. It looks like you're a fairy. You give me fairy vibes and I love it. Like you do give me just fairy in the garden. And I'm like, yes, ma'am.
I'll take it. I'll take
Yes,
it.
ma'am. What are some of the literatures that you think needs number one more recognition right now?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I want to say like with horror books, if you're not in if you are not already into like reading and in the book
Mhm.
world, the only writer that everybody knows is Stephen King. And as much as
Mm.
like obviously he's a master, like so many
Right,
of our
right.
great films has come from his writing, but
Mhm.
nothing makes me angrier than when I walk into a bookstore and their whole horror section is Stephen King, because
Mm.
there's
Mhm.
so much amazing writing beyond that, and like lots of women, lots of people of
Mhm.
color, lots of queer writers, like so many great people. A few of my favorites, CJ Lead is a wonderful women horror author. She's written
Okay.
3 books. They're all like pretty dark, pretty gritty, but
Mhm.
like, oh, they're great.
Right, right.
The one that she just came out with is called Headlights. It's set in Colorado, and it's got a very
Oh.
like long legs
Oh,
vibe.
okay,
Like,
okay. I see it. I
yeah.
see it. Okay.
Another one, probably my favorite author is Stephen Graham Jones.
I've heard of him. I have.
Yes.
I've heard of him.
Yeah. So the video that you saw of me watching movies with my cat, that's actually a series that I'm doing on my social media where I'm watching all of the horror movies he references in like his most popular book series.
Yeah.
Because there's like hundreds. He clearly knows his horror stuff. Yeah. The series is called the Angel of Indian Lake series, and yeah, the main character is this like indigenous teen who is just like super into slasher movies as a way to kind of like cope with like where she lives and stuff. And she like she basically starts to believe that like a slasher is unfolding in her hometown, and she has to figure out like, oh, can I stop this? So it's very meta, like horror fans love that shit.
I feel like that would be, if somebody had that as a movie, they would be like, yes, ma'am.
Right. It is very cinematic, and just the fact that there are so many movie references in it, and like for me, it has inspired me to watch all these movies that I'd never seen. Some like deep cuts, old horror movies that I really love. So it's cool that it has exposed me to like other parts of the genre too. Yeah, those are probably two of my biggest ones most recently as far as authors.
I'm gonna have to definitely. Oh my gosh, she's gorgeous, and I'm going to kill her. Oh my god. Okay, we know Housewives of Horror. We love our cat. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. She's so pretty.
This is Penny.
Oh my gosh, she's so pretty.
And I don't know if you can see, but there's actually a pillow back here that looks like her.
I love that. She is so. Oh my god. She's like, mommy.
She's like, I want to be on the podcast.
Yes. Come on, girl. We love our cats. I feel like women in horror, for some reason, we love cats.
We do.
I think it's just been there. So as you're watching, obviously you are kind of getting more into the movies and everything. What I would say for you, what does reading an amazing book do for you versus watching a movie?
Yeah. I mean, I love both. Like I've always loved horror movies as well. I think like for me, watching horror movies, I like the communal experience of that sometimes. So like I love to get together with my friends and watch a horror movie. I also like, you know, I think with horror movies, there's like the jump scare, as much as that can be like a cheap trick sometimes, like it's part of the experience, and that hits much different, obviously, in a movie than in a book. With books, I like that you can get a little deeper into the characters sometimes, because you just get to spend more time with them, like in their head, and seeing how other horror people imagine things. Like reading about something really gross can be worse sometimes than watching it, because it's like so detailed and like like gives you just like makes you want to shudder. So
oh, I do definitely understand that. And I love that you brought up the communal aspect. So yes, like when you go on TikTok and everybody just watched The Last Scream, everyone just watched the latest TV show. So for your content specifically, how do you bring that kind of communal aspect when it comes to reading to your content?
Yeah, I mean, with reading, I feel like my content mostly is about engaging with like writers and readers. So like I'll talk about books that I enjoy, or like, you know, this is what I've been working on lately, kind of trying to hype up authors in the space. But I think it's also just talking about like the experiences that we have as readers, because it is a pretty like individual hobby. You can read like with your friends, but it's just not the same. So like that's kind of how we all hang out, is like talking about books online, talking about horror online, and trying to hype up like the authors who need more recognition. I love to like hype up my clients who I've worked with as an editor, because all of them are so great. And I think also like when I make those videos of me reacting to the different horror movies that I'm watching for this like series that I'm doing, I want it to feel like you're like hanging out with me watching a movie. Kind of like replicating that feeling. Good.
Yeah, it does. I think that it feels like we're at our sleepover and we're playing light as a feather, stiff as a board. Did you ever play that?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, I was not the only one, because I sure did. And did you ever feel anything? Did we ever get lifted? Were you the one getting lifted, or?
I was usually one of the people doing the lifting, and I definitely like I remember like feeling like something was happening, and then you open your eyes and they're still on the ground. So like, you know, it's one of those things of like perception versus reality.
Yes,
Like, is
your
it just
mind.
something that can't happen when we're like looking right at it or whatever? But I love, like, that's sometimes what horror feels like to me, is like we're all at a huge sleepover and we're just like trading scary stories.
Yes, exactly. I mean, go on TikTok, go on Instagram, like go on any type of social media, and it is. We need to have like a sleepover social media type of situation,
Yeah.
and it's just us doing. Did you ever watch Are You Afraid of the Dark? Because that was very
Yes,
short stories. I feel like you would love that because of what you do.
for sure. That was a huge influence for me when I was a kid, like watching that show, the Goosebumps books
Yeah.
as well, and like the Goosebumps shows. And there was also this like collection of short stories that came out around the same time called Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
That one
ma'am.
was huge for me. I remember I checked that out from the school library. I read all the stories and I wanted more. And so like I went to school, and I used to go to this like after school camp thing. And I went to one of the like teenagers or college kids working there, and I was like, "Do you know any scary stories?" And was like asking her to tell me scary stories. And I remember very vividly, she told me like a somewhat kid-friendly version of Texas Chainsaw Massacre because
I would love.
like,
Okay. I would love to know how we can make that kid friendly. So there's this man that's, in the in downstairs. He's an introvert. Okay, he is. He's an introvert, and let's not go down there. And then goodbye. I would absolutely love that. I actually,
yeah.
no, so that I love. Oh my gosh, that scary stories to tell in the dark. Because the characters alone, like when you're editing things for your clients, things like that, has anything ever stuck out like that to you? Like any characters or anything that you're like, oh, you're creative.
Yeah, I mean, I actually there's a short story collection that I edited. I think last year it was. It's called My Dreams Come True. It's by this great author named Rocio Carranza. She's based in Texas, and that was one where every single story I read, I was like, oh my gosh, this is like such a cool snapshot. Like there's one story called 40 Minutes where it's this girl who's like driving through the desert, and she realizes that she's like almost out of gas and she can't really see any lights. And it's like all the crazy thoughts that go through her mind, the things she sees. And it just was like so immersive. And that's something that like the same scene in a movie or something, you could make it suspenseful, but you wouldn't get that like inner dread,
Exactly. Yeah.
In the way that you can.
You turn the page, like you're literally waiting to turn the page, and you're like, oh.
Sometimes I have to like stop myself from like jumping ahead on accident when I read. So yeah.
That's fine. Has any stories, anything that you've edited, like has it actually made you like close the book and be like, nope, I can't finish it. I'm not doing it. Like maybe for emotional, or has anything ever made you be like, nope, not doing it, Booski?
I mean, yeah, plenty of the things that I've read have made me emotional. I would say one of the horror books I've edited, it's called How It Haunts Us is what it's called. And it's like an abandoned asylum story. And it's kind of based on like one near where, like not super close to where I live, but in New England. And just like the way that the author of that book, her name's Danielle Renino, like described this like creepy asylum. I remember like working on it one night, like sort of as it was getting dark because it was winter, and I just had to like go turn lights on in my house. Like I was
like, we're not doing this. We're not.
Yeah.
We're not. I was gonna ask, do you edit them in the dark? Because I would not be able to.
Sometimes, unfortunately, because like I live in New England, which in the winter it gets dark at like 4:30 here. So the end of my workday, sometimes I am editing in the dark, and then I at a certain point it gets to be like, okay, I gotta say no for like I gotta end for the day because it's getting too scary.
Too much.
Yeah.
How do you separate yourself when you're done with that? Because I think with stories, especially with books, you can like replay. You can be
Mhm.
in the world of that. How do you kind of separate the two?
Mm. I definitely try to have I call them like palette cleanser like
Ooh.
projects or like
Yeah.
books. So I still read in my free time, if you can believe it
Mhm.
or not. Like as much as I read all day, like I also read like when I'm relaxing. And so a lot
Right,
of times
right.
I'll try to like mix in books that are not
Mhm.
quite so dark so that it's
That
not
makes
like
sense.
dark 24/7.
Mhm.
And same thing with my projects, like, occasionally I'll take on a romance book or, like, a fantasy
Ooh.
that is, like,
Yeah.
still dark, but not quite so dark,
Mhm.
Um, because it can get to be a lot if it's, like, all day, every day.
Yeah.
Although, I would say I'm probably a little desensitized because like,
Mhm.
I do a lot of audiobooks, and I fall asleep listening to them sometimes at night, like, I put them on, and then I put the sleep timer on, so, like, you
That's
know.
people do that with true crime
Yep,
all the
yeah.
time. Do you like true crime?
I I feel like I used to really like true
Mhm,
crime. I so coming from a background as a journalist, I really
mhm.
appreciate like documentaries
Right.
and like that kind of work.
Mhm,
And I for a while was like into some of the true crime podcasts.
mhm.
I think for me, I sometimes I sometimes struggle with the way that certain true crime like platforms or
Mhm.
programs like frame things or
Mhm. Yeah.
approach things in a way that can start to not feel
Mhm.
as respectful of like the fact that these were real people, you know?
Yeah. Mhm.
But I still think it's important to talk about these things that have happened. Like,
Yeah.
and this is one of the reasons that I love horror so much is that as a genre, like horror doesn't look away from the bad stuff. Like horror does
That's
not
true. Yep.
like it's these are the things that people don't want to like admit to themselves
Right.
or like accept about the
Mhm.
world, and horror is very brave in saying like no, this
Yeah.
actually is like this darkness exists. And so I don't think we should like get rid of true crime altogether because we have to like face these things that are
Right.
part of our
Mhm.
society, you know?
Yeah.
But it's also important to find that
It's a
balance
balance.
and like keep
Mhm.
the humanity in it for
Yeah.
sure.
That's why, like, there are some YouTubers that I really respect that say the events, talk about the events in a very, very respectful way. Because that is why it's so funny. I hear a lot of people that are into horror, not really into true crime.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
I think that when we love horror because of the hey, this isn't real, but we can
Mhm.
kind of act out our skeletons in the closet per se.
Yeah, you have like
Like
control in a way
exactly, yeah.
because
Control
yeah.
chaos. Control
Mhm.
chaos. So that is I definitely like I don't think I could go to like a true crime horde, like a or true crime con, I would say like a
Mhm.
convention or anything, because that is just a little too much. It's a
Yeah.
little too much for me.
Yeah.
But so I definitely agree on that. Now, obviously, you're on social media. You're a content
Mhm.
creator. You're Housewives of Horror. Now,
Yes.
what has been the most surprising thing doing like the book talk and everything like that? Like, what's been surprising for you?
Yeah. So I I started doing social media when I like started my business as an editor
Mhm.
because I was like,
Right.
well, I gotta figure out how to,
That's very
meet people and find
right.
clients and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think I was kind of nervous at first because
Mhm.
like it's kind of like vulnerable to like put yourself
Oh
out
yeah.
there. And I think the most surprising thing for me has been how much it has helped me
Mhm.
just like be more who I am.
Yes.
Because
Mhm.
you like are practicing just being
Mhm.
unapologetically you, and like if people vibe and resonate with that, that's great. If not, like they
Mhm.
can take it or leave it, you know? And I think
Literally.
it's been like it's been good like exposure therapy kind
Mhm.
of like just like really being loudly yourself and not caring what people think about
Yeah.
it. So I'm kind of grateful for that, honestly. Like I'm at a point now where my business, I have a lot of returning clients, so I'm like,
Yes.
I wanna thank you.
Yes, we love
Like,
that. Yeah.
I wanna market my stuff, obviously, but also I
Yeah.
just enjoy like connecting with
Mhm.
other people who like the same stuff I like online.
Right.
I like that way of connecting, and even, some
Mhm.
of those people have turned into like real life friendships.
Yes.
Like this summer, I got to go to Creepaway Camp. I don't know if you've heard of
I
that.
saw that on your page. I was gonna say, what is that? Because girl, I need to go. What is
Yeah, this is
that?
the first year they ever did it. It was
That's so cute.
a like sleepaway camp style event in Colorado, and there were all these horror authors there who did a bunch of like
That's cute.
panels. They had lots of like social fun events, like they did movie screenings. There was like craft stuff. We did a paint and sip where it was like blood spatter painting. Like
Yes,
it was
ma'am.
it was so fun, and I got to meet some people there in person that I had like met through social media and creating content, and that was really cool to like bring those relationships IRL and like connect with people. And it really shows that like as much as there is a lot of like there are a lot of impacts of social media that can be negative, like I fully agree and recognize that, but there can also be some really positive things, and like you can find your people by using social media for sure. So.
You can curate your little corner. You can. Now, obviously, we know social media. You get some people. You get some people that run across. How do you, I guess, deal with not so nice people coming your way on your platform?
Yeah.
I think we've all had them.
Yeah.
All had them.
Yeah, I feel pretty lucky in that I haven't had any like terrible haters or anything. There's been times where like I've talked about things that people haven't agreed with, especially in like the publishing world.
Yeah.
And I try to just like, if someone is like approaching me in good faith, I'll have a conversation with them, but I have to try really hard to not respond when it seems like people are rage baiting, because I don't know if you believe in astrology, but I'm an Aries moon, which means like if somebody ticks me off, like I can kind of go off a little bit.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah. You have the Aries ram.
Yes. Yeah.
That's okay. Yes, ma'am. It's like looks like a cinnamon roll but can kill you.
Yeah,
like,
kind of.
That's you. I see it, but I love it.
Yeah. So there's been times like, especially with in publishing, like AI is a huge conversation right now, and like I have some pretty strong feelings about it, and so like I have to make sure to kind of stop and be like, okay, is this worth like getting into it with somebody right now, or is this something that like I can like put my thoughts out there and I don't necessarily have to engage, yeah, don't feed the bots, don't feed the trolls, just like
there will always, especially I think just being a woman in horror in general, I feel like people like to rage bait us and try to get us out of our character so we can look emotional. I do truly think that. So sometimes we just gotta, show them we're a boss ass bitch. And we do not.
Yeah.
Now I know you've probably read thousands of books at this point. 1,000. Is there like any certain motifs or anything like that in a book that you're like, yes, this is my like I love it.
Okay, I do like I love slashers as a film genre and as a book genre, and like what I love about slasher books is they take the meta-ness like so far. Sometimes like they very much are super self-referential, so I love that about slasher books. Any book that's about like cannibalism, I probably will be into.
Oh, okay.
Especially like when it's like as a metaphor for like love and how it like devours, like that kind of thing. I love cannibalism stuff. I love a good like culty vibe of a book.
Girl, yes. I love me a cult.
Especially if it's got like witchy like undertones, like anything like that, some like folk horror type stuff. And I love queer horror, like so much good queer horror is being written right now. A few of my clients write queer horror, so like sapphic horror specifically. There's just like I just love that horror is expanding in so many ways and people are doing so many different things.
Like Leviticus, would you consider that like what kind of the queer horror?
Yeah, for sure. Which I haven't seen it yet, but it's on my list. I've heard good things about it. And And then one that I would recommend, especially if you like campy horror, there's this author named Chuck Tingle.
Tingles, yes, I need
Tingle.
anything that he writes.
And the best thing about Chuck Tingle is nobody knows who he is. His identity is a secret. So it's a fun little mystery, but he writes these really awesome, funny, campy horror books that are also really like tender in a way, and his books are super queer. He just came out with one, I think it's called I'm blanking on the name of it, but
it's fine. Just pull up Chucky Mr. Tingles.
Yeah, Mr. Tingles.
That is okay. I need to pull them up. I do.
Yeah.
Now I know you like the story, obviously, like the stories, things like that. Now, this is kind of I'm just curious what your thoughts are. So, like with video games, like Until Dawn, and like when you get to pick your own adventure, basically. Does that give you a kind of a similar feeling to the books in a way?
Interestingly, so I'm not a huge gamer. I didn't grow up with them and like wasn't allowed to have them. So I feel like I sort of like missed the boat on a little, but I have played a little bit of some horror games. Like I played through part of Until Dawn. I've played, what's the zombie one that's in like New Orleans or the Bayou?
Oh my gosh. Girl, so I'm not a huge gamer either.
You know which one I'm talking about, though.
I can visualize. I can't.
So it's interesting because, like, with the choose your own ones, that does remind me a little bit of a book. Like Until Dawn, I liked that. Like your choices kind of affected what would happen. But I actually like horror games scare me a lot more than I think books or movies, honestly, because you're like in it and you gotta like fight stuff. Like it feels really high stakes, even though it's just a game, and I always get so stressed out.
Oh my god!
Because I don't have the skills to like do things quickly. So
like at least with a movie or a book, like okay, we can do. But if I have to press X and then press 0 or press man, that's too much. You're dead.
Yeah,
like I'm sorry, but I'm killing everybody. So I mean that I do like the aspect of choosing your own fate. I think that is really, but the high stakes of it,
it's hard. It is.
Now, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, but I like with Until Dawn, especially like you get to explore and like see what
you do
different objects are and stuff like I like that part of it. It's just anytime I have to start running and jumping and
we're not
doing that.
I do agree. Now, if you had no budget, no limitations, I need your craziest book idea.
I'm debating. So I am working on a book right now.
Exclusive.
It's like very early stages. So nobody steal this idea.
Right. Housewives of Horror going to be coming at you. Don't play with her. Okay.
But the concept that I'm working on is it's like a cursed swimming pool that steals the souls of synchronized swimmers. And it's sort of like a Carrie meets Suspiria meets Black Swan, like
Black Swan was so good.
Yeah. So it's got that like kind of culty aspect to it, but also the like break with reality thing. And I just like the setting of a synchronized swimming team. I think that's fun.
The synchronized swimming team is probably amazing. I'm not gonna lie. I love that aspect because I just can picture them doing their like synchronized swimming into the pool. I need to make that happen.
I'm working on it. Yeah.
I need this book. I need it.
This is the hard thing is it's such a long process. And I will say, like, as a writer, I find it challenging because I spend so much time helping other people with their books to find time for my own projects. But I'm really like trying to, over the next year, like prioritize this book project. So I'll keep you updated for sure.
I was going to ask, how do you keep your creativity? Because I feel like it's very similar to just in general horror content creators. When this becomes your bread and butter, what you're knee deep in. How do you get that genuine passion for, I want to pick up this latest book?
I think the big thing for me is like really trying to build in time to my schedule where I can do creative things that I enjoy just for that, not in a way where I feel like it has to contribute to my business or my social media or like anything, like things where I don't feel pressured to do it like for somebody else.
Right.
So like I junk journal. That's like one of my big hobbies is junk journaling.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm a very like sentimental person, and so
Yes.
I like try to do that at least once a month and like set aside time for it. With my series that I do where I watch the movies, I usually am crafting at the same time, and I like that because like since my phone is filming me, I'm not looking at my phone. I'm like actually engaged in the craft and in the movie. But I do think it's like you have to like protect that stuff that's just for you. It's really important. And I also I do run these workshops like locally where I live. That's kind of all about like writing just for the sake of writing to kind of help people get out of that like writer's block space. So I really enjoy like running those because I feel like it helps me keep that in mind that like, you know, these things that I'm helping other people with, I need to like take my own advice as well.
So. I love it. No, I definitely agree with that because I mean, you know, when you're used to doing stuff for not necessarily views, but just because it's your content, it then feels like a job.
Yeah. Oh.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Now I can hear you. Yeah.
Girl, you know, we love some. It's okay. So when I move, sometimes it gets a little crazy, but it's okay. Now, when somebody goes to your page, what do you think would be like? What is the feeling that you want somebody when they go to your content to have?
I think the whole like underlying ethos, I guess, or like principle of my pages and my business and my website is like I want everybody to be weirder. Like I want everybody to embrace like whatever makes them weird and like wear that like a badge of honor because I truly think that's what makes good art, that's what makes good horror, that's what makes good content, and that's what makes it possible to like find the other people who like the same things you do and like and get you and are drawn to like who you are and your authentic like vibe. So that's like kind of what I try to emphasize in like all of my content and my business as well, that like I am here to like help you spotlight your weirdness. Like I'm not trying to change anything about you. I want you to be exactly who you are. Because like that's where the magic happens, is like in the middle of the weirdness, you know?
Literally. And that, I mean, it's very true. If you people, especially on like social media and just in general, I mean, you're a business owner, people know when you're not genuine.
Yeah, for sure.
People know that. Have you felt at times that because you're more of the book talk versus the big heavy slashers or the movies, like just that type of media, how do you feel like you keep that, hey, I'm still just as important, or as like my content is just as important as that?
Yeah, I mean, I think what I try to do is like obviously it's important to think about like what people want to see, but I also try to think about what I want to make. Like I think it's important to not like worship at the altar of like horrible algorithmic gods. Like we, you know, like we can't spend all of our time just trying to please some sort of like techno
the algorithm god, because my goodness.
Yeah, like you'll drive yourself crazy doing that, and you'll lose that spark and that like weirdness is what makes you cool. So like while I have, you know, there's like a common thread that runs through my content, I also kind of try to let myself be a little chaotic because I think that's what helps keep it fun. And that's what helps keep it like interesting sometimes as well. I honestly try to take myself not too seriously in order to make it a better experience. Because I think that's also when you start to get stuck in like that inner critic cycle, which is something that I talk about a lot with the people that I work with, the writers that I work with, that like the more you think about what everybody else is expecting of you, the more stuck you're going to feel and the more you're going to have a hard time deciding what to make or what direction to go or like what to talk about, you know?
That is very true. That is.
Yeah.
I love that. And then I always want to end with this question. What does being a woman in horror mean to you?
I love that question. I think being a woman in many ways is a horror. Like I think it's one of the reasons yes, it's one of the reasons that women are drawn to this genre, because I think it's one of the only genres that is really like reflecting women's like authentic experiences in a lot of ways. And I have also found that the women that I've met through horror, and like just like everyone in general I've met through horror, but especially the women, are some of the kindest, most thoughtful, most intelligent people that I've met. And I just love like that culture and getting to be a part of building that culture. I think it's really important to like lift each other up as women in horror and like shout out all the projects everybody is doing. Like make sure that if you are reading horror, that you're reading lots of women authors, watching films directed by women, watching films that are not just about really terrible things happening only to women. You know, kind of like taking the genre back a little bit from some of the gatekeepers who have made it harder for women to like be at the forefront. So yeah, I mean, I think being a woman in horror kind of means everything to me. Like it's a big part of how I like define my life, is like being part of this genre. So
I love it. I'm gonna I need to like start to add sound effects. So we'll figure that out, because you are coming back, just so you know, because we love to have people come back. So I want to like rank some of your favorite books, talk about some of your favorite books. So we're definitely there will be a Meg part 2. That's an actual like movie. So we're gonna just make you a movie.
And it's Shark Week. It's Shark Week, so that's perfect.
That is perfect. So we always want to also make sure that my ghoulies can know where to find you. So where are you? Where can we support you? Let us know. Let your ghoulies know.
So on social media, I'm at by Meg McIntyre. On TikTok, I'm also at Meg the Horror Babe. I started a new account because TikTok nuked my other one. Yeah. And then for anyone that is a writer and is interested in editing or is interested in workshops, my website is mcintyreeditorial.com.
And there all the links will be down in the description, obviously. So definitely, if you are a writer, if you are a content creator, I mean, she has something for everyone, to be honest. So thank you so much for coming on. I do appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
It's been so great. I love that, especially literature, we need to get more exposure to it.
For sure.
So this is not going to be the first time or the only time Shark Week will be happening. So definitely stay tuned. But as always, ghoulies, if you already know, you know. But we're going to say it together. Ciao, ciao for now. Bye.